an adult child of two people who use drugs. My mother, by health reason, stopped using quite a few years ago, but my father is still using. And just by being a child of them, I also had stigma and discrimination. Because, oh, your mum and dad's a junkie, or you grew up with no parents. And the truth was, I actually grew up with some pretty awesome parents. So I thought, well, how can I utilise my story and gain strength from it through my own healing and through my own cultural identity to be able to give back and help educate my own people. A good portion of us are drug users or some kind of substance abuser, or I don't even like that word, but they're at differing levels of use of drugs. There's also a lot of ignorance around needles. We have around 20,000 people living with Hep C. So those stats alone, we know that people aren't always using home needles all the time. We've got a needle exchange program, peer-led, peer-run, and we have really excellent human rights in place to make sure. But the thing that isn't there is that there's still a lot of stigma and discrimination around people who use drugs. Still to this day in my community, my mother is persecuted because she was a drug user. I've done a lot of work on who I am as a child of people who use drugs, and I think it actually gives us another layer of survival. It gives us another place where we can actually walk into worlds. We can be with people who use drugs, and we can speak the same language, and we can do a lot of the same things, and then we can switch over into the so-called world of the HIV sector. When you're fighting for Indigenous issues, that's basically what I'm doing, is that the strongest allies I have in the meetings and the rooms that I'm in with other people who are all pushing their own cause and all fighting hard for their own thing. My strongest allies always end up being the needle exchange programs, the people who use drugs programs, and also the sex workers organisation. For some reason we seem to know what that feels like to be stigmatised and put at the bottom of the list of priorities, and we give each other strength. Every time we give each other strength to push higher and make sure our voices are heard at all levels. This pre-conference, it's our story, it's our time, it's our future. That's the theme of the pre-conference. And what it means to me personally is that we're getting organised. We're no longer the poor cousin down the block or the black fellow over there that's not doing any good. We're now starting to see, hey, we've got to get it together and start coming up with ways of dealing with things in our way. And to me, this whole pre-conference is about celebrating who we are as a culture, who we are as a identity, and what's the future for us? What's the future for us if we don't address HIV?